Well, there we have it, another Rally Monte-Carlo in the books, and history made once again by that incredible young man there. Toyota a podium lockout as well. Great celebrations once again. The hometown hero and the man that is the Monty Master, congratulating Petter Solberg there. Pranilla in the background with Julia Negracia, who is also the Monty Master for sure. So many celebratory moments for the Solberg family there. Just an absolutely brilliant moment. Now, Oliver Solberg, as I said, made history. He is the youngest ever to win Rally Monte-Carlo. Just what an amazing day for the sport, what an amazing day for Oliver Solberg, and what an absolutely brilliant and grueling Rally Monte-Carlo. So myself, Kiri Blore, and Mike Chen will be with you for the next half an hour or so, just to bring you everything that has happened here. If it wasn't enough, we're going to recap the whole thing back from Thursday night, but we know the ending, the perfect Hollywood ending for Elliot Edmondson and Oliver Solberg. The second time they take a WRC victory, and this is the first time he has a full-time season. So it's Estonia now and Rally Monte-Carlo in the books, but what else will come for 2026 for that pairing? An incredible moment. And champagne and celebrations are much deserved. And as your commentators were saying, so much care and celebration from Sebastian Ogier there, one of Oliver Solberg's sort of mentors. A really special moment for him. Well, I cannot believe we've made it through. It was so hard watching all of those moments unfold for Oliver Solberg, the small spin, the small moment yesterday. But finally, he's brought it home through the Wolf Power stage. An incredible Wolf Power stage. We knew it would be momentous with the Col de Turini, and it certainly did just that. A great run by Elfyn Evans as well. He kept Sebastian Ogier at bay, and that's certainly what he was determined to do. Let's listen to Oliver Solberg's stage-end interview once again when he finds out he's won Rally Monte-Carlo.
Oliver, wow, congratulations. Just absolutely incredible. The winner of Rally Monte-Carlo 2026. Can you even believe this?
I don't understand it at the moment, I think. It's another emotional day, you know. It's the most difficult rally I've done in my life, and it's my first rally in the car, you know, on tarmac, back again, on full level. And here we are winning the whole thing, you know. It's emotional because it's so demanding and it's been so stressed. I just want to say, you know, big thank you to Toyota for the trust and the belief, and I could deliver for you. And the teamwork again, you know, like Estonia, has been fantastic with the test team and with the engineers. Jeg var så redd i svingen din. Jeg skjønner ingenting. I was so... Kom. Godt. Not bad,
Such a special moment. And we were all waiting to see Pranilla as well. And of course, she got her hug just before the podium started. Oliver's always said it's a full family affair. And I think it will continue to be one of those throughout the season. But such special moments. And I know so many people are behind Oliver Solberg, even the local fans here in Gap. Of course, Sebastian Ogier's hometown were here all the nights that the cars were back here cheering him on. Okay, well, as Oliver said, as Elfyn said, it's always a team affair. Let's listen to Kai Lindström now, speaking on a very special weekend.
Kai, fantastic scenes. How are you feeling?
Well, it's a great feeling. I don't know, those kilometers were quite long to wait them to finish the stage. And like we saw today, anything can happen, and there was a lot of things happening even for Oliver, but he escaped those well, so had to wait to the flying finish, and really happy for them, and obviously the entire team, 1, 2, 3, it's a great achievement here.
You picked up where you left off last season. How difficult has this weekend been with the conditions? We've not seen this for like 10 years, these conditions here.
It's been really, really difficult, but thank you to everyone in the team that hard work, and it paid back, so really good job.
And just a last word on Oliver. How well has he done this? His first real rally in a Rally 1 car.
How should I put it in live team? Extremely well.
Well, Guy is always a man of very few words, but I think perfectly put. And what does 2026 hold for that young man? It is going to be a very, very special year. Long may it continue. Okay, well, there were plenty of moments throughout the weekend. So many nerve-wracking moments for all of the drivers, but in particular, stage 12 for Oliver Solberg. It threw up so much drama in itself, that stage, but we saw Oliver. It was such tricky conditions, and one by one we were seeing cars being caught out by the weather conditions, and then when we didn't expect it, we saw Oliver slide off the road and into the field. He was very lucky with where he went, so that's where it began, and then that's where it ended up. Now he had to take some distance up the field to make sure he got enough power to get up that banking, but it all worked perfectly, and he took the stage win in the end. So it may have been a moment of bad luck, but it wasn't too bad. It could have been a whole lot worse. Lady Luck was definitely on his side this weekend. So that was stage 12. That was the first time we saw just a flicker of, oh, can he do this? And then a couple of moments today as well that he had, but he's managed to bring it home, and it has been an absolutely spectacular weekend. But if Sébastien Ogier, the man that has won so many times in Monte-Carlo, saying it is the toughest Monte-Carlo he's seen, it was such a difficult one to win for Oliver Solberg, and he just took the lead so early on. This is Oliver's moment this morning. Again, everything was sort of manageable. Everything was okay, but there were so many moments. The problem is he'd created such a good buffer between himself and Elfyn Evans. So any moment like this didn't really damage him too much. He was well over a minute, and then he dropped down to about 52 seconds. So no harm done. He'd created the perfect buffer in order to be able to make these mistakes, to have these moments on the last day on Sunday. The weather conditions just absolutely unbelievable for Monte-Carlo. You just didn't know what you were getting. Remember, if you can remember all the way back, if you've been with us all weekend, or if you can remember all the way back to that thick fog that we saw on Thursday, the heavy rain in the streets of Monte-Carlo, and then that awesome snowfall that we had as well. We knew with the rain, the snow would fall on the Col de Turini, and it certainly did. But then with the snow became the slush, and that's where we saw a lot of our drivers being caught out. So that is Oliver Solberg's weekend pretty much wrapped up. He's going to be celebrating into the night, and what a perfect way to start his 2026 season. Elfyn Evans, however, again, he knew what he had to do. He wanted to keep Sébastien Ogier at bay, and he also wanted to collect as many points as he possibly could. And he managed to do that with those Super Sunday points. He wasn't looking promising with the Super Sunday points. At one point, we had some WRC 3 guys leading the Super Sunday points, but it is Elfyn Evans that's managed to bag himself a significant points haul, and he knows all too well from 2025 what the points haul actually means, because every single point counted, didn't it? When he went down to Saudi, it was just a matter of 3 points. So what a great weekend for Elfyn Evans as well. Very much faultless. Mike Chen.
The dusty sofa.
The dusty sofa.
Yeah, I like this.
The dizzy heights of the mountain.
Well, I had a show plan called the Dusty Sofa, and it was a bit like this for the World Rally Championship, and you've stolen the idea. I like it.
Okay, I'm glad that eventually your program your dreams have come true, and it's with me on a sofa.
Yeah, what a rally.
What a rally, and what a way for you to finish it.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, first of all, it was just yeah, I mean, I think we were all holding our breath for a long time to see whether or not Oliver could do it, and I think certainly today was like a massive test of his mental strength more than anything else. He's proved his pace already. Yeah. He's done that, hasn't he? It was now, could he deal with how difficult it is to at this level of the sport, with all the pressure that comes with it, with Sébastien Ogier and Elfyn Evans breathing down your neck, and to do it here on this hallowed ground out in those mountains with all the history and heritage, and yeah, and he is, Oliver Solberg has made history today, and it was quite incredible. And Bex and myself were both just saying there as I was coming down here how much of a privilege it was to commentate on history being made in our sport.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Because you watch these moments. So we've watched so many moments of Sébastien Ogier making history, but when it comes down to it, when the dust has settled, when the years have gone by, history is really what people will remember, and Oliver Solberg will be remembered for being the youngest driver to win Monte-Carlo, and that's so cool. That may change in years to come. Who knows what will happen next, but for the time being, Oliver Solberg making our WRC history.
Yeah, and this has been a journey as well, Kiri. You know, so many of us have been following Oliver's, I say his life, but certainly his journey from being a little boy when he was just running around chasing Petter about, and you know, he was just this little kid just tearing around the place, and now, you know, he's here and he's beating Sebastian Ogier. He's beating his idol, or certainly his rallying hero. I think his idol is his mum and dad, would be his mum and dad. But yeah, it's very, very special what he's achieved, and I think now. Yeah, as you talk about the dust settling, we've got to look forward to the future. I think Sweden, he has to be the favourite, but there's even more pressure on his shoulders there because everybody's expecting it now. If he can do it in Monte-Carlo, then surely he can do it in Sweden.
Yeah, but we've got the likes of Lappy as well, haven't we, coming back?
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fight out there.
It will be a big fight, there's no question, but EP has got, we shouldn't put too much pressure on EP either because he's been out of the seat for a long, long time as well in the Hyundai. So, yeah, I expect people will be thinking, well, he's definitely the favourite for Sweden, so there'll be pressure on his shoulders there as well. But he's a young man who's come of age, and to be on the top step of the podium with Sebastian Ogier and with Elfyn Evans alongside him is very, very special indeed. And I'm honestly, I'm incredibly happy for him.
Yeah, I think everybody is, of course, like you said, because he's been around for so long. OK, so I sort of talked about Elfyn Evans there and the battle that he had with Sebastian Ogier. The job that Elfyn Evans had to do was keep Sebastian Ogier at bay, and that is a really hard job to do. Sebastian Ogier made it very clear from the get-go that he was finding this particularly hard. And I mean, Sebastian Ogier, he gave his own stats away, didn't he? 17 starts, 15 podiums. He's won most of those. It's still not bad to be on the podium, and he'll be fighting for a championship thought in his head as well, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Sebastian Ogier is always thinking about the championship. There's no question about that. But he struggled this weekend to get the tyre and the car working together. That has been his downfall. It's not that he suddenly got slower. It's not that Sebastian Ogier suddenly dropped off the pace, or is any less hungry. He just hasn't been able to get the car and the tyre hooked up to suit his driving style in these conditions, and that's where he struggled a little bit. And I think coming into today, he'd kind of accepted the situation and gone, listen, I can go absolutely flat out and try and catch those guys in front, but risk going off the road, and more than likely in those situations here, in these conditions, you do, or accept third place and bag some solid championship points for the team. That's what he's done, and get another podium in Monte-Carlo. Yeah. The thing about Sebastian Ogier, though, is when it doesn't go his way, he gets hungrier. That's how he operates, and
he gets more terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's here to win a championship, and I suspect that's what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we won't see him in Sweden, so that's an interesting opportunity for the others around him to collect championship points. Let's just remind you of the overall classifications as they stand after Monte Carlo one more time. But the seats at the back, it is Oliver Solberg that took the victory here in Monte Carlo. Elfyn Evans in second. Sebastian Ogier in third, Adrian Formo a good solid fourth, we'll talk about that in a bit, Thierry Neuville in fifth, and then you'll see Leo Russell in sixth there, Tacker in seventh, and then it's Padden rounding out the top 10. All right, well, as he's rounding out the top 10, let's chat about Hayden. Such a big weekend for him to come back. There was a test for him just a week before Monte Carlo. That was the first time he'd even sat in the car. A brilliant weekend for him to bring it home. The pressure of bringing it home is as much as anything else, really.
Yeah, I suppose under the conditions, yeah. I mean, look, this was never going to be a rally that suited Hayden, and I think quite a few people were surprised that Hayden had of EP and Danny Sordo and Hayden, the availability. I think choosing Hayden was a brave choice, but Hyundai know more than me. I'd have given that one to Esa-Pekka Lappi, frankly, but there we are. I think certainly considering the conditions, nonetheless, Hayden has learned an awful lot. He has been absolutely thrown in at the deep end. His job this weekend was to get seat time and to score some points, and to, most importantly, to get to the end of the rally. He's done that. There's been a few off-road excursions, but what we
have those.
No, well, exactly. But what we haven't seen is the very best of Hayden Padden. He made this mistake yesterday, just carrying a little bit too much speed as he came over the crest of the hill and just dropped it down the side of the road and ended up getting stuck. Yeah, pretty frustrating for him, but I think really that was the only. Here he comes now. He just runs a little bit wide. He's lost the back of the car. Now he's on the slush, and he's just a passenger, and that's just become a very expensive sledge that he's sat in at that point. So yeah, it was always going to be difficult for Hayden, and you mentioned the amount of seat time he's had. Not a lot, Kiri. So
I mean, basically nothing.
Yeah, this is absolutely not his comfort zone. If you put Hayden in that car on a gravel road, a fast gravel road, you'll see what the real Hayden Padden's made of, and we haven't seen that this weekend.
I love that. I've not actually seen that shot or focused on that. Here come the fans, and the determination to get this man out of that snow was fantastic.
Yeah, it's always the case in rallying, isn't it? So often the fans become you know, the drivers' heroes, and and again, we talked about it yesterday. It's the only form of motorsport where you get this, and the fans, yeah, coming to Hayden and John's rescue. If they weren't there, they would not have been going anywhere. So we see it so often in our sport, and long may it continue that the fans get up close and personal with the cars and end up keeping the cars on the road, because it's so important as well that the competitors are able to keep going, particularly when you've only got currently 11, 12 Rally 1 cars going. We want to see them all tearing on, and yeah, there was 3 minutes or so lost here, and for a while it didn't look like Hayden was going to get back up, but the fans never gave up. They never do, and they got him back up onto the road. They'll get behind the car now and start pushing him, and he's able to carry a bit of momentum and just get it up.
It's just brilliant to watch.
You can see John on the left. John's already picked the shallowest course, so they've got to get the car back across, and then Hayden can come back up. But yeah, great scenes. Just one of the great scenes that we've experienced here in Rally Monte-Carlo this year.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, the fans helped get Thierry out the day before as well. All right, well, we had other new guys joining us, John Armstrong, and up until today, it had been an absolutely fantastic weekend for him. There were plenty of moments, and I'm really disappointed for him that he didn't actually get to finish Rally Monte-Carlo, because he really I really think he really deserved to. He showed just what he could do, and I think he really deserved to bring it home, and it's such disappointment for him that he didn't manage to. Yeah,
absolutely. A real shame for John Armstrong and Josh McAleen, both dropping it in exactly the same stage, and yeah, such a shame for them, and such a shame for M Sport and everybody who's worked so hard in the off-season since Saudi Arabia, and it hasn't been long. You know, they haven't had long to turn the cars around to get out here, and it was looking really strong for John Armstrong. Was set to score a top 6 finish. That would have been an incredible result. He went into the stage with 2 studded tyres and two snow tyres on it, and it didn't work out for him. Just lost the back of the car, and I think, well, actually, lost the back of the car, then lost the front and understeered into a wall. At least that's what I've been told. We haven't actually seen the off. I don't know if we've got it here or not, but yeah, real shame for John. Sidelined with suspension damage, and then just further up the road in exactly the same place, Josh McAleen. Just getting, I mean, he was so unlucky coming up the mountain, just running, lost the back of the car, which pulled the front onto the slush, got a whole load of understeer straight away and into the Armco barrier, instantly tore off the front left suspension. And for M Sport, it went, well, for Josh, it went from bad to worse very quickly, and for M Sport, for John Armstrong and M Sport, I kind of went from a hero start to a 0 finish, really.
Yeah, indeed. All right, let's just remind ourselves of points as we leave Monte-Carlo behind and head towards Sweden. So the points as they stand at the moment: Oliver Solberg, 31, Elvin Evans, 26, Sebastian Ogier, 18, Adrian Formeau, 17, and Thierry Neuville, 10. What is fantastic about that is Leo Russell with 8 points there. So here we go again. The battle starts once again. How will that look after Sweden? Those are the points for the drivers, and these are the points for the manufacturers. Of course, disappointing M Sport, no points scored here. That'll change throughout the season, 59 to 35 from Toyota and Hyundai there. So that's as it sits at the moment. Okay, well, we've had a pretty adventurous weekend across the board, even WRC3 piping up and causing trouble at times. But let's talk WRC2. So I think our hopes were riding on Johan Russell. I think that's where we thought we would see a difference, and actually it was the wrong brother that's still on top of the car.
Yeah, I mean, Leo Russell, what a weekend it has been for that young man. I think you're right, everyone was expecting Johan Russell to be the clear favourite in the return for Lancia as a manufacturer team, and Johan dropped it, and it was this man, his brother, his younger brother, Leo Russell, in the Citroën. So a French man in a French car winning on French soil.
Just
it was
desserts, really, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very special for him.
Leo Russell, the winner of WRC2 Rally Monte-Carlo. This rally, this car, it must feel incredible. Well done.
Yes, very, very incredible. I'm just happy. Thanks a lot for my team for the work. This is my first rally with my new team, and this is the win. Wow. After Johan, just happy. Thanks a lot for Stellantis, and this result is more important for my future in the season. Just happy.
Enjoy the podium.
Well, there we go. Stage and interview. So excited for that. Well deserved. What a brilliant weekend for Leo Russell. And we've also got a Forum 8 Most Stage Win Award to have a look at now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation of the Forum 8 WRC2 Most Stage Wins Award. Please welcome up on stage Johan Rossell and Anna Dunand. And to present the trophy, please welcome up on stage Arne Dirks, Chief Marketing Officer of WRC Promoter. Stay there, Johan, just briefly. 3 times winner of this rally, but it wasn't meant to be this year.
Very tough rally, but for sure the most important is to trophy stay in the family, and we are very, very happy. Yeah, for sure my race was dead after a 12-kilometer case. We never give up after that, and we are completely sick during one day, and we try to keep the concentration, keep the car on the road also, and we are come back yesterday to prove the speed of the car, and yeah, it's not easy rally for sure, but we are coming with a lot of experience, and it's the most important.
Yeah, not the best start for the Lancia, but the speed is there and it will come. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, for sure. Before the start, we know how the rally is difficult, and especially in Monte, and start here was a bit difficult for sure. And yeah, but we can wait the first win, and for sure, if we work like that, she is coming.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Put your hands together, please, for the winners of the Forum 8 WRC2 Most Stage Wins, Johan Rossell and Anna Dunand. Thank you.
Well, I suppose if he couldn't get the victory here, he may as well take the most stage wins and get that Forum 8 award. It was a bit of a Russell lockout there in terms of podiums and awards. Here is how it looks for the WRC2 after we leave here in Monte-Carlo. So Russell and Dapra at the top end.
Yeah, and then Arthur Pelleborg finishing third ahead of Eric Camilli. A great run down the mountain for Eric Camilli, sadly picking up a whole load of penalties today, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, which put him on the back foot. That's how he lost third place to Arthur Pelleborg. Chris Ingram confirmed in fifth ahead of Nikolai Gryzin in the sister Lancia, Jaroslav Kultan. Robert Jurgensen in 8th, Philip Kern 9th, and Johan Rossell climbing back up to 10th.
Well, there we go. That's the WRC2 as we wound down here in Monte-Carlo. Well, Chenny, what have you made of it all?
Incredible! It's been an epic. I'm exhausted.
I know.
It's, but it's been an epic start to the 2026 season, and I'm obviously really looking forward to round 2 in Sweden. Very, very different event. It's the only place we see the full winter tyre being employed. So, yeah, again, zero margin for error there. Excited to see what Oliver Solberg can do. Excited to see whether or not Hyundai can bounce back. And again, a bit of a baptism of fire for John Armstrong. So, yeah, I think there's lots to look forward to. But what a way to have started the year, and what a Rally Monte-Carlo it has been. We have seen every single condition, and remember at the start of the event we were saying
thick fog,
even the fog, and we said if you're on the right tyre for 51% of this rally, you've got it right. And I'm not sure anybody really was, to be honest with you. But in most stages we've seen wet tarmac, snow, slush, ice, it all in the one stage, which has made it just incredible. And it's been Toyota's Oliver Solberg. Elvin Evans and Sebastian Ogier, who've been able to deal best with those conditions, and they leave here with a 1-2-3. What a way for them to start the year, but trust me, Hyundai will bounce back.
Yeah, indeed, and we mustn't leave here without remembering that Fontana has brought a bit of WRC history to the table as well, being the first WRC 3-car to win an overall championship stage, which is so cool as well. So Fontana making a bit of WRC history out there, and I'm sure he will be very happy with that. Of course, this is yesterday in Monaco, but very pleased when he spoke to Julian Porter this morning.
Yeah, really difficult conditions last night in Monaco, and again, in a Rally 3 car to beat a Rally 1, it's unheard of, but it just goes to show how much the stage evolved in just the kind of half an hour, 40 minutes between the first Rally 1 car going in and then Matteo Fontana going in the Rally 3 car. All the snow and ice had turned to slush, and in a lot of places it had just turned to wet water, which meant Matteo was able to really get the hammer down push and ended up going through a stage quicker than anybody else.
2 stages in the end.
Yeah.
So, absolute madness, but a bit of WRC history there once again. So history made by Oliver Solberg, winning as the youngest ever driver to win Rally Monte-Carlo 2026, and then Fontana being the first driver to bring a WRC 3 car to the top flight and winning a stage there. Okay, well, we've talked about it, so shall we have a look at what Sweden's got in store? There we go. Well, it's hard to believe that that's now just a matter of weeks away. The season is rolling on. We've done the first one. Now it's going to keep going, isn't it?
Yeah, on to round 2. It's going to keep going, you're right. And it's going to be exciting to see again. I was just talking about it a moment ago, but particularly Takamoto Katsuta nearly won it in Sweden twice, and it's gone wrong. So Taka's got to pull his finger out. We've had enough of heartbreak for Takamoto Katsuta in Sweden. I think it's going to be even more difficult with Oliver Solberg knocking around. But again, such a wonderful, unique place to go rallying. Completely different setup. We go back to big gravel dampers and different brake discs, different braking systems, different gearboxes, diffs, and of course that very special full winter tyre.
Yeah, all right. Well, this is the calendar. This is what you can expect from the season ahead to Kenya, Croatia, Rally Islas Canarias, then Portugal, and so on until we end up all the way in November back at Saudi Arabia. So that is what the season has in store for you. And if this round is anything to go by, we have got an amazing season on our hands once again. So, final thoughts?
Look, I think you've just got to give it to Oliver Solberg. There were so many key moments for him this weekend, weren't there, where he was monumentally quick and made the difference, and then there were places where he was off the road and was having spins and it was all going away from him, but it all fell into place for him. So for me, you know, you can take nothing away from what Oliver Solberg has done. I think it's an incredibly exciting time for the World Rally Championship. We've got a really quick, young, funny, marketable driver winning rallies, Kiri, and that's incredibly exciting, isn't it? So yeah, kudos to Oliver Solberg and to the whole Solberg family, to Toyota, and roll on Rally Sweden.
Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you so much for joining us once again for an absolutely incredible weekend of rallying. Well, we leave here with history made once again, and it has been an absolute privilege to bring you all of the coverage. So from myself, Mike Chen, Bex Williams, and the rest of the team, thank you so much for joining us. And it is just a matter of weeks away now until we head to Sweden. So make sure you join us for all of that action in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for sticking with us. It's goodbye for now.